our business is being conducted on the ancestral lands of the Subasik people. Any introduction of late items, Joseph? None from you. Council, do I have any from you? Seeing none, I look for approval of the agenda as presented. Moved by Councillor Bomaka, seconded by Councillor Austin. All in favor? Opposed, if any? That motion carries. Thank you. Public input. Here's another opportunity. If you have anything on the agenda that you would like to speak to before we have a look at it, this is your opportunity to come forward. Again, if you could just state your name and what your public input is, that would be appreciated. Seeing none, we'll move on to adoption of the minutes. We have minutes of the regular meeting of council held October 22nd. Looking at that, any errors or omissions? Seeing none, looking for a mover, Councillor Sandhu, seconded by Councillor Austin. All those in favor? That motion carries. Business arising and unfinished business. I would like to introduce Mr. John Chilton, who is the president of the Cowichan Lake Chamber of Commerce. We had a brief discussion on some possible beautification projects within the town. And if you could go to the podium and we will listen to your presentation, sir.
Good evening, Council and members of the public. Good to meet you all. I know some of the faces around here, but not everybody. So I'll introduce myself. My name's John Chilton. I'm from the president of the Chamber of Commerce in town. And I live on, I'm not within your jurisdiction. I live on 7461 Hudgrove Road at the Cowichan River Lodge. So I'm in Area F. So basically, earlier this summer, I'll give the background to it. We were approached by a group of people who were looking to install some hanging baskets, etc. And they wanted us as a group to make an application for a grant, because there's a grant available through the FCC community funding, which is the Farm Credit Canada. It's a federal crown corporation which reports through the Ministry of Agriculture. And when we first received the proposal, which was the idea of putting up some hanging baskets and other things in terms of beautification, we went away and we discussed it. And what we were looking at, we had some issues from ourselves because there seemed to be a divide. I'm not me, I mean a physical one, like who would own the hanging baskets? Who would service the hanging baskets? What was the liability going to be? Who, you know, let's say a council employee watering the basket falls on his head. Who's liable? And from that basis, all we could see is like running costs, which weren't appropriate really for us to approach the council with, and were way out of our scale of our budget that we could handle. So, but using this, we agreed to investigate the concept, and we've been reasonably successful in the past in gaining various grants, particularly the Canada Summer Jobs Act. So we've been able to, like for instance, this year we managed to get attain $40,000 of funding, 210,000 over the last 3 years to put youth into the community in various jobs and in businesses. So we thought, well, okay, well, let's give this a shot. And my mind was prompted. I'm not even going to pretend on this one. My mind was prompted. I saw something on Facebook and I saw that the people were talking about the Bear Aware Society. And I was thinking, well, do you know what? This could win a work for everybody. If we were to make the application ourselves in concert with the town, because there are only prescribed organizations that can apply for this funding. So for instance, the people that are not eligible are religious groups, individuals, political groups or organizations, for-profit entities, and the list is quite extensive. So I thought, well, that we firmly fall into that category, as does the town and as does the Katza First Nation. So to us, it seemed to make some sense. So the proposal from ourselves is that we would apply for the grant of up to $10,000. I'm always a bit more skeptical about these things. So I never want to say, oh, well, we'll get 10 grand, because who knows, we might get 2 grand, 1,000, whatever. But it's a step. And the idea from ourselves was to unite with the town and potentially sponsor some bins. And the quid pro quo from our side is that what we would look to do is to, as part of the beautification, is to have them wrapped and then maybe do some kinds of advertising. What we had in mind in terms of the advertising is something that we've already rolled out across the various places, Masachi, Honeymoon Bay, Yubo, and in the town, is these QR codes, which people have been using quite extensively, particularly since COVID. And this brings people back to particular links. And the links that we're using at the moment, we have QR codes for the Cowichan Valley Regional District for parks and trails. We have the same thing for the Town of Lake Cowichan Parks and Trails, because these are things that people are looking for when they're in town. And let's be right, if they're good, responsible citizens, they're going to go to the bin at some point during their visit here in town. So there are several others. There's obviously the Cowichan Lake Chamber of Commerce. There's the Trailblazers Trail Map, which is a fantastic, thing that we've got in our backyard now. And we also link to the Tourism Cowichan campgrounds, and as well as that to the Explore Indigenous Culture for the town of Lake Cowichan. So we're not looking to reinvent the wheel here. This was a germ of an idea. And what we'd like to do is to bring it forward to council. And if you guys were good with this, let's give it a pop jointly. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But as they say, you can't make a journey without taking that first step. And that was pretty much it. I don't think I need to show you much more in regards of the thing. I'm fairly sure we've all seen bear-proof bins before with a vinyl wrap. That's kind of what we were looking at. All right.
Great. I'll turn to
And that's pretty much it. This was genuinely, this was a germ of an idea. If it doesn't get off the ground, it doesn't get off the ground. But we'd certainly like to try and work with you guys to achieve this.
Great. If you want to stay there, if there's any questions that you can
Yeah, for
answer,
sure.
any questions from council? The timing on the grant application.
The grant application can be made any time of year. I believe they kind of run it on a fiscal year. So from April 2024 to April 2025. So we could make the application now, make the application in April. I personally think that the way it's been explained on the FCC community funding page, the initiatives, projects, or capitals are focused on, they have food security, and then well-being, of supporting the current physical or mental health of those working in the Canadian food system, public trust in agriculture and food, but more to the point, community enhancements, making a difference where our employees and our customers live. And I think that will be the niche that we will be looking to walk into.
And the reason I ask, we have had discussions in-house about replacing some of the ornamental garbage receptacles through town with the bear-resistant portion, and in conjunction with the application, it wouldn't be a one-time, one-year initiation for our part because of the budget.
We say it's the same way, Tim, to be perfectly honest, because
To collaborate with not only yourself, we brought this forward to our local First Nation in a meeting last night, and they seem to be quite pleased with the idea, and perhaps would be on board with some sort of, even a letter of support may help moving forward. So I will turn to staff and ask that this stay within the discussion as we move forward through the budget process on how we are going to initiate that replacement, costing, et cetera. That'll give an idea of what the grant application from the chamber would look like and how we could match those funds moving forward. So if you could keep that on the radar, I would appreciate that. Thank you, John. I have a question from
Thank you, Lorna.
Councillor Bomaka.
Thank you, John. I'm wondering, when you're talking about the wraparound vinyl, I wonder if there's the opportunity to get hold of the Bear Aware group and be able to also put some sort of messaging.
I think that's an
Possible?
excellent idea, Lorna. I personally don't know any of them. I think my coming here tonight, it's like, because I live slightly out of town, I don't have that interface that some of the other people who are more in town do.
But our staff do.
Yeah,
But
and
mainly-
I think that would be super. For me, I see that as inclusivity.
Yeah.
You know,
It's also to educate visitors to the area to
precisely,
why we have them.
completely.
Okay,
It's
thank
all
you.
about education, isn't it?
Anything
Thank you.
further? Thank you very much, John.
All right,
Appreciate the
thank you.
presentation.
As I said before, I hope you guys don't mind. I have a previous engagement up in
Please.
Nanaimo, so I have to skedaddle.
Watch out for the elk.
I sure will. Thank you.
Thank you. We have no delegations or representations on the agenda tonight. But we do have an action item on correspondence, and that is the Cowichan Valley Regional District. A request for support for allocation of municipal regional district tax revenues towards affordable housing. Joseph, would you like to introduce this? Now, just to be clear, it's the portion of online accommodations that is afforded to the affordable housing portion. That is forwarded to Cowichan Housing Association in their dealing with placing housing opportunities within the Cowichan Valley. So it's only that portion. It's not the MRDT from hotels, et cetera. That still goes to the tourism portion. So this is just the online accommodation portion, just so we're all clear. Looking for a mover for a letter of support. Councillor Bomaka, seconded by Councillor Austin. Any further discussion? Councillor Austin.
Oh, no, sorry.
Oh, all good?
Yeah.
All in favor? Opposed, if any? That motion carries. No other correspondence, so we'll move to council and committee reports. We have committee of the whole. Unfortunately, Councillor Frisbee is not with us today. May I ask one of you to read the recommendations?
I read it even if I wasn't present.
No.
I can read it.
Councillor Austin, please.
Right.
We're crying out loud. Okay, that the committee recommend that the town award the contract to Pacific Rim Appraisals Limited for appraisal services at a cost of 28,500 plus GST. Councillor Sandu reiterated the request for the Mayor McGonigal during 2024 budget discussions that the council would have this with the department heads. The next one is the fire department incident report, that the committee recommend approval of the Lake Cowichan Fire Department's incident report in the amount of $11,105.50 for October 24. That the committee recommend that the town of Lake Cowichan's mural approval policy be approved as amended. That the committee recommend that Councillor Aaron Frisbee be appointed as the town's representative and head of the 2025 Otaki Twinning Exchange, scheduled to travel to Japan in July 2025. That the committee recommend that the town of Lake Cowichan support the workforce housing strategy, subject to there being no financial implications to the tax base of the town. That the committee recommend that the Lake Cowichan Fire Department's budget for 2025 be approved as presented earlier in this day. And that the committee recommend a leave of absence for Councillor Frisbee be approved for his absence from meetings to be held between November 25th and December 9th.
And you will move those recommendations?
I will move those.
Looking for a seconder. Councillor Sandu. Any comments or questions? All in favor? Opposed, if any, that motion carries. Moving on to Couch and Lake Recreation, I'll turn to Counselor Sandu for that.
Thank you. Yesterday, November 25th, 2024, we held our meeting and were presented with the 2025 draft budget for Function 405 for the Couch and Lake Recreation. What we had approved was we included a requisition increase, never mind, that the 2025 service enhancement request for 405 Couch and Lake Recreation Programmer 1 be approved, that the 2025 capital asset investment request for Function 405 Couch and Lake Recreation Centennial Hall stove replacement be approved, that the 2025 capital asset investment request for Function 405 Couch and Lake Recreation Curling Lounge HVAC be approved, that the 2025 capital asset investment request for Function 405 Couch and Lake Recreation Couch and Lake Sports Arena light replacement be approved, and it was a BC Hydro grant of $30,000. That the 2025 capital asset investment request for Function 405 Couch and Lake Recreation exterior door replacement be approved. There was one that came before us, which was a recreation coordinator, and that was defeated. If you want to continue with anything.
Just the majority of those budget considerations were accommodated through reserves, whether they were capital or operational reserves. The increase in the core is tied to wage increases, et cetera. And the only requisition impact was the programmer of $28,000 to make it a full-time position. So with that, are you finished?
Yes.
And that's just for information. So moving forward, Vancouver Island Regional Library, anything, Councillor Austin? Womacka?
I think it's Councillor Womacka.
That is now.
It is now. No, due to a family death, I never made the Zoom meeting.
No problem. Advisory Planning Commission, Councillor Austin.
Thank you. The advisory, as well as James Van Hemert, our newly hired town planner, Bridget Reynolds, attended the last meeting on November 21st. Minutes have been sent to council, but I will add that some of the bicycle racks we talked about, the areas were identified in 2018 and are actually noted in the OCP. They just haven't been placed yet. We are sorry to lose our longtime members, Robert Patterson and Pat Lamont. Robert has been on the board for 7 years and our chair for the past 5. Both have been very valuable members of the commission. And as James is moving on, we wish him well. Notices have gone out for new members for the next 2 years, and our next meeting will be Thursday, January 23rd at 2025 at 4 p.m.
Thank you. I echo the thanks to Mr. Van Hemert for all your work getting us to where we are today. And I know you're not leaving tonight because you're driving that four-wheeled
Back at
ankle
7.
buster. But we wish you well in whatever you and next endeavors are. Moving forward to the Community Forest Co-op, I will yield to Councillor Sandu.
Thank you. We held our meeting last Thursday, November 21st, 2024. The Community Forest Cooperative completed their renovation for their new office. And we also gave the Lake Cowichan School Senior Girls Volleyball Team a check for them to attend the provincials.
Thank you very much. Good luck to the senior girls as they move forward in the provincial championships. Moving along, Cowichan Valley Regional Board meeting. The meeting is tomorrow, start of budget discussions within the CBRD, and that is a complex undertaking. Unfortunately, there will be significant discussions on various topics within that. There were elections at the previous CBRD meeting. Kate Segal from Mill Bay was elected chair. She filled in while Aaron Stone, the previous chair, had resigned to look for other options, and she was acclaimed as chair. I have been nominated and was successful as vice chair. So tomorrow, the chair will be appointing committee chairs and vice chairs and other appointments throughout the regional district, not only for the Cowichan Valley Regional District Board, but also for the Cowichan Valley Hospital Board. And those will happen tomorrow, starting at 9:30. If you wish to watch, it could be a very entertaining portion for you to have a look at. So I will fill you in further when that meeting is finished. Councillor Austin, anything from the community outreach team?
Yes, our meeting was on Thursday, November 21st. Jocelyn, the Director of Community Services, said they are fully staffed at present. Hamper applications are available at Community Services until December 11th. They'll be put together on the 18th and given out on the 19th at Centennial Hall. Some will be delivered, excuse me, or rides will be available for those without vehicles. And hampers are being tailored to applicants a little more than they have done in the past. Special Christmas dinner at the Christian Fellowship Church on December 23rd from 1 to 3. And that's for everybody, whoever shows up. Cameron, who is from Reaching Home, talked about the funding that would need to be renewed in the new year. But they're still having the refresh markets on Mondays for seniors and Wednesdays for everyone, and luncheons on Mondays and Thursdays at the Christian Fellowship Church. Kim was there as an outreach nurse. She says they're still short staffed, but she handles most of the Cowichan Valley for personal support and vaccine for those in need. Basically, she's by herself quite a bit of the time. Kristen from the library talked about Story Times Friday and connecting with young families like the former Healthy Beginnings that we had at CATSA Health Unit. And 6 new computers are on the way for those in the community that need to use them. Mike was there from the RCMP. He said members have lunch at the seniors once a month to connect with that group. And I believe it's Tristan that attends LCS for student discussions once a month, and that's very important. Not a lot is going on in town right now. A lot of the transients and problems in the summer have moved on. And Kim is a social worker that comes to the CATSA Health Unit once in a while. When she's here, she attends Lakeside Medical Clinic and another one in the Valley. She is here Tuesdays and Allison is here Thursdays. Patients have to be connected with the clinic. They do some home visits as well and use the CATSA Health Unit when they're here. So lots going on. It's a great group of people.
Thank you very much for that. Any questions on that from fellow councillors? Okay, moving on to our Cowichan. Councillor Sandhu,
Our next meeting is in January 2025.
I'll stay with you for the Cowichan Watershed Board.
Thank you. Yesterday, we held our monthly watershed meeting. We had our monthly Hulkominum watershed lesson from Councillor Christopher Alphonse. That's my greatest joy of the watershed board when we get our language lesson. It's pretty amazing. I can't say it properly, but we all try. There was a presentation from Nadine Overdoon, Joint Executive Director for the Cocosila Watershed Planning Process. And staff presented us with a new strategy for implementing targets in 2025. And on December 5th, the Cowichan Watershed Board is hosting the 3rd workshop for the Fishkill event of 2023. And the Public Works Superintendent will be attending on behalf of the town and myself on behalf of the Watershed Board.
Thank you very much for that. Questions or comments? I attended the last presentation and it was pretty good to watch and just to see the different things that came into effect to bring that fish kill on. There wasn't one common denominator that caused it. It was death by 1,000 cuts, so to speak. It was a very interesting presentation. If you have a chance, go and have a look at the last one. Otaki Twinning Committee, Councillor Austin, anything there?
Yes, they're having a firewood raffle, 2 cords of wood. The draw date is December 1st, $2 each for tickets. Check the Facebook page for businesses that have the tickets. I know the dentist's office does because I was just in there. Bottle Drive was on Saturday. They did very well. And the rain held off in the morning anyway, part of the morning. November 30th, the Apollos game at 7:30 at the arena. The group are also selling tickets for that. And they have organized a New Year's Eve dance at Centennial Hall. Tickets will be available on Eventbrite soon, along with hard copy tickets. Again, check their Facebook page for all the upcoming events and where to purchase tickets. These guys are really doing a great job. And I want to thank our executive secretary. She's working in conjunction with them on all the travel and hotels and everything like that. And this delegation heads to Japan in July 2025, and I'm already starting to work on the next delegation. We'll start in the early new year for 2026, because we have some kids that are interested in going to that. And some of them will have parents that are going to this one, so they're doing a great job.
Great, thank you. And Counselor Frisbee, as we noted earlier, will be the head of that delegation when they travel to Japan, which should be pretty interesting with a Kiwi speaking Japanese. I want to hear that. Counselor Austin.
I was just going to say, I was going to introduce them to everybody in January at their January meeting.
Thank you very much. I'll let you coordinate that with Counselor
Yeah.
Frisbee. Next, we will move to staff reports. CAO on closure of municipal facilities for an additional day over the Christmas holidays. I need a reason. Mr. Fernandez, can you explain why this is coming? to
Yeah,
us?
this is, well, the workday happens to fall. A workday happens to fall after Christmas holidays. And this has happened in the past. Employees have asked to take the day off in the office anyways, and we've made that available to others. But operational requirements obviously would hamper some people taking the day off, but so just to keep it up, to make it legal, we need you to approve the closure of the office that day, so the public will not say that staff are doing things that they shouldn't do.
Is there a policy that the facility cannot be closed for 3 days straight?
No,
It's not,
it's
in-
happened before. when
it
it was
has,
closed.
but it's by resolution of this body.
Correct.
And it's been moved by Counselor Sandu, seconded by Counselor Austin. And comments, Counselor Sandu.
In your report, you said that other local governments, municipal governments are doing the same thing, so it's not,
No, it's just that they've closed the whole week.
oh, the whole week.
Yeah. So I've had employees come to me and indicate that they would like to do the same here.
Mm.
And that doesn't make sense because we're here to serve the public, not to serve ourselves. And obviously they would take vacation. It's not like they would be paid. It wouldn't be paid holiday.
Well, your staff and all, you deserve an extra day, so Merry Christmas.
Comment?
Only some of them.
Counselor Vomaka.
Just a question, when it was saying that staff can use their vacation time, what about employees that don't have any banked?
Well,
Pardon me?
if they don't, they can't.
So if they can't take the day off,
It happens to work.
okay.
I wouldn't be bringing. Unemployment work. It's being hired.
And you'll be working those days, will you?
Christmas, Boxing Day.
Oh, yeah.
Any further comments? Call the question. All in favor? Opposed, if any? That motion carries. And next is the Director of Finance, who unfortunately is not with us tonight, and that's the proposal for audit services. Joseph, are you going to speak? Just remind you to use your microphone if you would, so we can pick that up on the YouTube, but it's the recommendation that the audit proposal be awarded to MNP LLP and it's for 5-year term from 2024 to 2028 fiscal years at the cost stated above. And they were online
Yeah.
and the agenda has been printed. So with that, moved by Counselor Omaka, seconded by Counselor Sandu. Any comments or questions? Call the question. All in favor? Opposed, if any? That motion carries. Moving on to bylaws. Mr. Fernandez.
Zoning bylaw, zoning amendment bylaw 11/10/2024 was the subject of an earlier public hearing. It is here for third reading.
Looking for third reading. Someone move that. Moved by Counselor Austin, seconded by Counselor Sandu? Okay. All in favor? Opposed? That motion carries. Next, Joseph.
And bylaw 11/10/2024 may now be reconsidered and adopted.
Moved by Counselor Austin, seconded by Counselor Bomaka. All in favor? Opposed, if any? That motion carries. Next is C.
The town of Lake Couch and fees and services. Fees and charges for services bylaw 11/11/2024 has been given 3 readings and it has gone through the committee of the whole where council approved the rate changes. And so the only change in that bylaw is the schedule with rates. And it's here for reconsideration and adoption.
Moved by Counselor Sandu, seconded by Counselor Bomaka. Any comments or questions? All in favor? Opposed, if any? That motion carries. Moving on to D, Joseph.
Water regulations and rates bylaw 11/12/2024 has been given 3 readings previously. And council approved the rate changes. And the only change here again is the schedule for rates. And it's here for reconsideration and adoption.
Moved by Counselor Austin, seconded by Counselor Sandu. Discussion. Call the question. All in favor? Opposed, if any? Moving on to the next one, E.
Sewer regulations and rates bylaw 11/13/2024. Also been given 3 readings previously. And the same thing, the schedule rates were approved by council at a committee stage. And it's here for reconsideration and adoption.
Moved by Counselor Bomaka, seconded by Counselor Austin. All in favor? Opposed, if any? That motion carries. Next one, Mr.
The
Fernandez.
the waste regulations and rates bylaw 11/14/2024 has also been given 3 readings previously. And the rates as enshrined in the schedule has been previously approved. And it's here for reconsideration and adoption.
Moved by Counselor Sandu, seconded by Counselor Bomaka. Questions or comments on that? Joseph?
If I may, we've got the calendar already prepared and it's ready to go out based on what you had indicated.
Perfect. We were looking to sort of adjust some
We have.
pickups of organics and appreciate you accommodating that. And
Yes.
hopefully that will appease some wildlife encounters next year.
Well, let's hope.
Let's hope. Let's look at the calendar and see if that works out and amend next year if we need to. So that's moved and seconded. And I called the question, so we'll move on to G. Joseph.
The subdivision works and services amendment bylaw 11/15/2024, which was given first and second reading last month, is here to be read a 3rd time.
Looking for a third reading, moved by Counselor Austin, seconded by Counselor Bomaka. Call the question. All in favor? Opposed, if any? Just if I may, through to you, would this come back as a public hearing?
But this doesn't have a public hearing.
Okay, thank you. Let's clarify that. Under new business, we have the Town of Lake Cowichan meeting schedule for 2025. Mr. Fernandez, do you need to introduce that?
Yeah, this, just for information, really. It's the regular, it's the next item that needs council resolution, but you can approve both if you want.
Are you okay with the meeting schedule?
Good.
Moved by Counselor Austin, seconded by Counselor Sandu with a question.
For the May 2025 schedule, the public hearing is May 5th at Centennial Hall. Didn't we not say maybe we would bring it here the last time?
It's up to you, really, because I think this is a bit small for, if you've got the number of people.
Okay, well, maybe we'll look at it next year after our May meeting and just see.
See.
I'd just like to showcase this
We did
renovation.
once.
Yeah. Thank you.
We'll gauge the attendance of that and move forward accordingly. Thank you. So that has passed. Looking for B, notice of regular meeting dates. Someone want to move that? Moved by Counselor Sandu, seconded by Counselor Bomaka. Any questions on that? All in favor? Opposed, if any? That motion carries as well. There is no mayor's report tonight. Notices of motion, I didn't hear any at the beginning, but if you have any, please. Seeing none. Now we have question period for anyone out watching online. The phone number for questions on items only on the agenda tonight is 250-749-3239. And for those in person, if you could, if you have a question, if you could come to the podium, state your name and your question, we'll do our best to get the answer. If not, we will find it for you. Any questions tonight? Second time. Looking for adjournment motion. Counselor Bomaka,
Do we have in camera?
yes, we will adjourn this and then go in
We
camera.
only have to go in camera.
And meeting for in camera, Mr. Fernandez.
Section 92 of the community charter requires that before a meeting or part of a meeting is to be closed to the public, council must state by resolution that the meeting is to be, why the meeting is to be closed. And the basis on which the meeting is to be closed
Our
falls
uh,
under the following
business is
sections.
being conducted on
community
the
charter.
ancestral lands.
Section
of the
91
Subbasset
G, litigation
Any
potential
introduction of late
litigation
items? Joseph?
affecting the municipality.
And from you, council, do I have any from you? Do I have a motion to go in Seeing camera, none, moved by Counselor
look for approval
Sandu,
of the
seconded by
agenda as
Counselor
presented.
Bomaka. We will adjourn the regular meeting, take a short break and reconvene in camera shortly.